Welcome. I'm N.S. Lavanya, Assistant Professor, Department of English, KCS Kasinadar College of Arts and Science. In this video, let's have a look at the poem Lot's Wife, written by Anna Akhmatova. From the title itself, the reader can sense that this account is going to be different from the original story. In the biblical account, Abraham and his wife Sarah are the central focus. Lot and his wife seem nearly forgotten after they move to the city of Sodom. God tells Abraham that he is about to destroy Sodom, and Abraham begs God to save the righteous from the city. God honors that request, and Lot and his family are led to safety while the rest of the city burns. But God commands them not to look back upon the city. And Lot's wife disobeys that command and instantly turns into a pillar of salt. Now the text of the poem. Stanza 1 and 2. And the just man trailed God's shining agent over black mountain in his giant track, while a restless voice kept harrying his women. It's not too late, you can still look back. At the red towers of your native Sodom, the square where once you sang the spinning shed, at the empty windows set in the tall house where sons and daughters blessed your marriage bed. Next, third and fourth stanza. A single glance, a sudden dart of pain, stitching her eyes before she made a sound. Her body flaked into transparent salt, and her swift legs rooted to the ground. Who will grieve for this woman? Does she not seem too insignificant for our concern? Yet, in my heart, I never will deny her, who suffered death because she chose to turn. The poem Lot's Wife retells a story in the Bible about a man and his wife and family, all of whom must flee their disintegrating hometown to escape God's wrath. However, when Akhmatova wrote a poem, instead of focusing on the plot, she paid special attention to the Lot's wife. The wife's emotional state is examined, which enables readers to see the story in a different light. For example, we learn how much it pains Lot's wife to run from a town when a wild grief in bosom cried, "Look back, it is not too late for a last sight." As the woman struggles with deciding whether to look back at her home or keep running, she is troubled as her eyes were welded shut by mortal pain. Sadly, when the wife looks back, contradicting God's instructions, her body turns into salt and she is destroyed with the city. Finally, in the last stanza, Akhmatova prompts the reader to consider the significance of the wife's death when she writes, "Who would waste tears upon her? Is she not the least of our losses, this unhappy wife? Yet in my heart she will not be forgot, who for a single glance gave up her life." Thus, in questioning the women's death, Akhmatova asks the reader whether the wife's actions were acceptable or reasonable. Although she disobeyed her husband and God by looking back at her hometown, she still did so because she could not accept that she had to leave her life behind. The poet sympathizes with the wife and says that she will never forget her. Yet in my heart I never will deny her. Thus the end of the poem. Thanks for watching. We meet again in the next video with another interesting topic.